All right now it's just us.
Not sure what I did.
You're not sure.
How are you feeling?
Steve said he would be-
Pictures and all?
Oh, he's online, right? Yeah.
Oh, he is online right now?
No, not right now, but I remember he was.
So. he kind of made it sound like he might be rushing.
Emergency room.
Nobody remembers the second call.
Yeah,
So,
I know. I usually write that and I think I forgot this time.
Oh, this is your role, and I'll stop by and see you at,
Hopefully Jennifer.
It was quite a
uh,
roller coaster.
well, you're here, so
But I'm
I guess
here.
that's a good one.
I'm feeling a lot better.
Yeah,
It was tough.
glad to hear it went well at least. And
Yeah, I'm doing good now.
So this will pick up. And if we have issues, Nicole's online right now, so we can. But it should pick up all our voices. That's how we had it for the work session.
Fine, if you say so, boss.
I had to have my,
I can't hear you.
then I had complications.
Does this have a speaker? It also.
Yeah,
That goes.
Jennifer,
That was
can you?
weird.
We're on a different setup tonight because,
I know you're
I
right.
can hear you guys. I can hear you.
excellent.
I don't anymore.
Good news.
Let's do this.
Yeah, so we have Nicole online and we have Jennifer online.
Okay.
I think we technically have quorum, right?
Who's online,
Just four.
Steve?
Steve,
No, Steve's not yet. We can wait if you,
Let's wait a
Look up
couple
to
more
Jim.
minutes and see.
No, thank
we're
you.
gonna wait to see. Steve's supposed to be joining online.
The other lady's Bridget, not Brittany.
I would have thought I was gonna get coffee out of that, that's what it looks like. That was a coffee on, but not at 6 of me.
Now we can't hear you. Oh, that's because you're muted, Britt.
Sorry.
We're having an
Well,
important
let me
discussion
try.
about coffee.
Let me get this stuff fired up.
Where would I find the here?
And Steve just.
As soon as you have,
I'm an HDMI, so I will share, if I have to share anything, and I'm happy to.
It's on Fifth Street. King, four.
that's fourth.
I have to. All right.
Which street you,
Fifth and Bridge.
Oh, it's you.
so you're.
I
you're
muted my
Jason
mic.
Bridge.
No, you have to turn your speaker on.
oh,
Yeah.
You know, Gatsky's. Gatsky's.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Bridge is where I was. If you said where you live,
sorry about that.
You're good.
Across the street from the. golf.
All righty.
corner of Bridge and.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's call.
Alrighty, so meeting called to order at 6:02. And Vice Chair Williams,
Here, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay,
Commissioner,
Here.
Commissioner Pinzner, Commissioner Glasser,
Here.
Chair Reese,
Present.
and Mayor Pro Tem Sterling. And Commissioner Mahold and Commissioner Dye will be absent.
Okay, so might have Commissioner Duggan
I have no
at a
clue.
later time.
I hope so.
Okay. Okay. I'm guessing everybody had a chance to review the minutes. I think they were very thorough, and well done. Good representation of the last meeting. Anybody see any issues with the minutes? Corrections?
No.
Then I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve of September
I'll second.
24th minutes.
Okay. Alrighty. Chair Reese,
Yes.
Commissioner Cornell,
Yes.
Commissioner Pinzner,
Yes.
Commissioner Glasser,
Abstain, I wasn't.
Oh. thank you, and Chair Williams, or Vice Chair Williams, sorry.
yes.
Alrighty.
Minutes passed. Okay, now we will, have public comment on any non-agenda items. We have somebody here in the room that wants to address the planning commission. And if there's anybody online, after we get done with our gentleman in the room, we'll come to you. So if you just wanna, there's no real podium tonight, but if
Yeah,
you just wanna
You
stand
can
up.
just
right
stand
there
up kind of like,
and give us your name and address and just tell us everything you were telling us when you came in.
Yeah, my name's Tony, last name's Thorpe. I own the home, which is in the central business district at 90 East First Street. So it's in between Busey's and the green building. You just drive back there. It's got 103 feet of river frontage. It's about 0.19 acres, so just less than a fifth of an acre. At the moment, I've just got a 1,000 square foot home there that is an Airbnb. There is space next to it to put a building with about a 2,100 square foot footprint. So you could go three stories high and put 6 commercial units in there, about 1,050 square foot each. So all the house could go and you could build 9. You know, so I just wanted to put that out there, that I'm willing to do whatever the town needs at this time after what happened. If they want to, either I do it or the town does it, or we team up.
Yeah.
But there's, and I would also, I could agree on a rent and not jack the rent on the tenants,
Wow.
you know.
That's fantastic.
I'm not gonna,
Affordable housing.
as long as I'm not losing money,
Yeah.
I will keep the rent, whatever you guys want, based on whatever financial situation it costs to build it, you know?
I hear you.
So, you know, I want to do whatever I can for the town, you know?
Well, thank you, Tony. So can you repeat, I'm sorry, repeat the address again? What was it?
90 East First.
90 East First Street, and it's in the CBD district, right?
Yeah.
And so it's an offer to work with the town to utilize some of that property for housing or commercial space,
Yeah,
whatever might work.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much. That's awesome. Did you get information from Britt, like her town?
yeah, I'm gonna put you on an email. Nicole, did you have any questions? I'm just looking at your face. Okay.
Well, I'll
Okay.
tell you what, just so you know, that we're in the middle of trying to get affordable housing built in town, any housing basically at this point, but especially affordable housing, so the willingness to cap the rent.
Yeah, I think he's talking about commercial business,
Oh,
though,
commercial.
like
But either.
putting a cap, but
it could be either.
yeah, okay.
It sounds like you're open to what the town needs,
Right.
so that's great. Well, thank you so much, Tony. I appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
You know, thanks.
So much.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Go to the pub early.
Yeah, we got you in early.
Yeah, we shouldn't even comment on it. He needs to go talk to Britt
Yeah,
and talk to the zoning.
okay. There's nobody else in the room for public comment. If there's anybody else online that has a public comment, you'd have 3 minutes. Just make yourself known at this time. It's a really interesting dynamic of,
Setup, yeah. No one, no public comment.
okay. Okay, then, well, let's move on to our first discussion item, 5.1, the overlay district ordinance. And I'll just let you go and take it away there,
Yeah.
Britt.
Absolutely. Alrighty, sorry, it's loading. Okay,
I'm sorry, can I say something
Yeah.
before we go into that? I did want to say, acknowledge, we've got a little different setup tonight because there's been some turnover of personnel here at the community center. And of course, the staff is maxed to capacity dealing with the emergency in town. So essentially, whatever irregularities we have to deal with, we're just gonna, figure it out and make it work. Because, everybody's working hard and doing their best. We know you are, and we appreciate the
Yeah.
effort. So if there's anything we can do to help, do
Yeah.
this, so. please
absolutely,
continue.
I appreciate that. And then I did want to let everyone know, unless John is absolutely needed, he's not gonna be here tonight because he had another meeting to attend. So it'll just be me and then Jennifer's online if you have questions about this as well. So the staff report tonight is on ordinance 882. It also proposes amendments to chapter 16 and 17 of the municipal code, establishing the First Street overlay district. So this ordinance is to implement recommendations from the downtown sub-area plan, which was adopted in 2025. By creating tailored land use and design standards that reinforce Netherlands' historical, walkable downtown character and encourage appropriate redevelopment. So just some background. Actually, I'll just go into kind of the summary of what it proposed, because we've really talked about this quite a bit. So it defines the overlay boundaries, generally bounded by West Second Street, Snyder Street, Boulder Creek, and Jackson Street. Supplements existing zoning regulations to ensure new developments align with the downtown sub-area plan. Sets form and design standards for buildings within the district. Some key development standards, you guys can take a look at those if you're on your, it looks like you're all on some form of laptop. But really what I kind of wanted to get to is the code consistency amendments. You will see this also amends section 16 and 17, or chapter 16 and 17, section 152 and 153 of 16. It removes redundant provisions and clarifies applicability within the First Street Overlay District. And then section 17-79, lot consolidations, it deletes outdated PUD requirements for downtown properties and integrates overlay compliance requirements. So we had some further discussion for tonight in order to really clean this up, and then any last minute discussion now that you're seeing it for the first time. For publicly zoned properties, town staff and Jennifer wanted to know, would the PC like to exempt properties with a public P zoning designation from the overlay district, which means they wouldn't be held to those strict overlay standard, or the overlay standards that we have here tonight. And then boundary review. I know we've spoken about it multiple times, but we just want to confirm that this looks like what we've been speaking about. Parking standards, I believe we all got to kind of a decision there, but just confirming whether commercial uses located above ground floor are intended to be exempt from off-street parking requirements. And then roof types, do we want to define them or include an illustration diagram and an appendix or design guide? There was also a change from discourage roof types to prohibit roof types. So just looking to confirm that that is the intent here. I do want to add on that fourth one that we were encouraged to have definitions and illustrations, because that always kind of helps clarify things. So if you have any questions, Jennifer's online and I can answer anything for you as well. And then we can kind of go through those when you're ready, but also just looking for initial feedback. So I'll let Jim kind of go with whichever you want to go first.
Okay,
I don't know if you want to get feedback first or go questions.
no, let's go clarifying questions of the planning commission, and then we'll go public comment, and then we'll get back to full discussion.
For the publicly zoned, Commissioner Pensinger here asked, publicly zoned designations are visible somewhere in this packet, or were
So it's actually, the town hall is essentially what falls into this overlay district. I think it's town hall and the visitor center, Jennifer, correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Hmm.
Yeah, so those are really the only two properties that fall within that are town owned. Sorry, I should have had my plan was to bring the zoning map.
thank you for the clarification.
Okay, any other clarifying questions?
This is Commissioner Williams. Had a quick question on the roof types. We had talked at one time about flat roofs, but having just a slight, I guess they're considered flat roofs, but just a slight slope so that water runs off rather than sits there and eventually will flood a building over time. Is that what you mean by flat roofs, or is it flat?
Let me just double check the definitions here. Cause most flat roofs do have a slight slant to them.
Okay.
Not all, and I
It's
think
not.
that's a good question.
Go ahead, Jennifer.
So the ordinance says the roof shall be designed, shall be flat with parapets or incorporate front-facing gables.
That sounds like it can be a flat surface though, as far as the roof
Mhm.
type.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I I know we talked about it and I thought we agreed on having a slight slope on on a flat roof. I mean, nothing major, but enough so that water doesn't pool on the roof. And so now when I read the draft ordinance, I didn't see that. That's why I'm asking.
You know, and this is something I haven't looked at, Commissioner Williams, but I wonder if it's probably also dictated by the building code. I would imagine that any flat roofs, per the building code would need to have some type of slope for exactly the reason that you're mentioning. So one thing I can do as a takeaway is, confirm that and make sure that that is a requirement in the building code.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you, Jennifer. Yeah, in talking with my son, who was a roof engineer, said flat roofs, it's not an issue of if they will leak, it's a matter of when they will leak.
So I will
Makes
say, 2018 IBC has a 1 to 12 minimum roof slope for mineral surface, 2 to 12 minimum roof slope for asphalt shingles, and then a 4 to 12 roof slope for slate and wood shakes, which we don't allow. But
So it's 1 to 12.
mhm.
So.
Yeah, and of course, snow loading up here is an issue for us, not just rain.
Yeah, we do have in our code in IBC, we do have snow, wind, load requirements for roofs.
But we don't need to detail that kind of specifics into this actual ordinance here, right? We can
No.
reference that.
Mhm.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Well, I just want to make sure it's referencing the right thing, that's all.
We could add a sentence here that says that it needs to be in compliance with the building code,
Okay.
the existing building code.
Great.
Okay. Other clarifying questions? And then we'll go to public comment.
My question is almost more of a, give me a little rundown theory. I apologize. Usually I'm very prepared. I have not studied enough or gone in earlier to ask questions. My question is, if we go down this path and do this ordinance, how do we do what we have always done historically? How do we review? How do we do a PUD? And in the future, is this pretty much going to be staff? Or how does the planning commission review and make recommendations to the board of trustees if we go down this, adopt this format? And it's mainly, what we've had for years is that plan unit development, any building over 5,000 square feet, we did get a very thorough review. The town had a chance to have public hearings. So we had a very, very, what I would call Netherlands-like review. So I guess, we've talked about a whole lot of stuff, slopes of roofs and all these things, but how is Netherlands Planning Commission review and making recommendations to the Board of Trustees? What's that gonna look like? So I would like a good discussion, and thankfully, this is a discussion tonight, so that we have time to actually think about this. Is my question kind of?
No, your question makes sense.
I'll make
So
that.
let me ask you a question. Why don't we let the staff have a minute to think about that? And we'll put that under our full discussion, and we'll close the clarifying questions, and we'll go to public discussion, and then we can have a more thorough discussion of that. Is that all right?
That sounds like a reason why we voted you chair.
All right. So is there anybody online? There's no one here in the room. Is there anybody online for public discussion?
No online public.
Okay, so let's close the public discussion, this time and go to the full discussion by the planning commission. And I will allow Britt or Jennifer to tackle that first, if they
Can
would
I-
like.
Could I just clarify too, in part from your question, that first, it's not up to us to approve this ordinance, it's our recommendation, and then the Board of Trustees will make that decision, so.
Yeah.
That point, and then the second point, I thought I understood that it was gonna be setting up compliance measures such that the review had to be, or the submissions have to be in compliance, and then we would only address things that were out of compliance, or.
So how it works, and Jennifer, correct me if I'm wrong, is we're essentially setting, it's almost like how we have setbacks. And when I look at, somebody gives me plans as staff, I'm looking to make sure they're within setbacks and compliance. And so it really is setting up those standards. And so this would come to staff and they would take all these things that we've kind of decided over, and then move forward. It's almost like a use by right, if that makes sense. So as you're saying, like, there isn't a review where the planning commission could make comments on, like, maybe think about changing this. This really sets, like, your building can only be 200 feet long or whatever, you know, something along that. It really just sets like a standard that I look at, and if it's out of compliance, they have to revise their plans and bring it into compliance. It may not be, I think it's listed as like John. But Jennifer, I don't know if you have anything you want to add on to that.
So yes, Britt is absolutely right. This is enforced, and it at an administrative level. So the property owner developer would bring in plans, zoning administrator would verify those plans related to these standards that are set forth here. And then if that review showed that the plans were in compliance, that the zoning administrator has to issue a certificate of compliance. And there is an appeal process built in here. Any appeals can be brought to the Board of Trustees. Now, so that speaks to how these overlay standards are enforced. There are other ways to do it. This is a very simple way and straightforward way to do it. Other ways to do it are to have set up a site plan process, which you guys don't have in your code. You don't have an extra step of a site plan compliance process. I also want to speak to the PUD question. PUDs are still permitted in the overlay district. However, any new PUDs must comply with the standards set forth in the overlay district. So these are the minimum standards for PUDs. Somebody could request a PUD maybe because they want different uses set forth in or allowed in that PUD that wouldn't be allowed in CBD. I'm trying to think of reasons why somebody else might want to come forward with a PUD. But in any event, somebody wouldn't have to comply with these standards for any new PUD. Then there could be other considerations for a PUD.
Okay, thank you. That was well said. I think that helped a lot there, because I did not realize that a PUD could still come forward. But essentially what you're saying is that everything that's within the building requirements that we pass in the overlay district will still be in effect. It's not then going to allow a 60-foot height to be voted on and you know, through a PUD process, you know, for example.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Other,
Did that help?
did that answer your question or not really?
Well, possibly. It's hard to see all the things, and certainly the discussion kind of happened last week or last month was, you know, especially talking about the south side of town. And we got very quickly into, well, this, basically, I guess, part of what, just to say, there certainly was Lee Sedell, brought up several key points. And I don't think that we actually answered them. I said that it seemed like we said that will be an exception, or it'll be grandfathered in, or we'll make that be a historical building. So I feel like we didn't really address all the things that are unique to Netherland and all the things that kind of came up in the last 2 months' discussion of the crazy zoning and the outlay that we had there, all the lots. So this would be a great plan if it was all uniform, but unfortunately our town isn't uniform. So that's why I'm questioning. So it's better to have the discussion now than 5 years from now saying, oh my God.
Well, as I recall, and you were there, Britt, you correct me if I'm wrong. I thought that John had said, well, yeah, that's all for future building. And yes, that any new, that the owners would be required to meet the new building requirements, because that's the intent of what we're trying to do. We're trying to shape the future of that area. So, Lee had a lot of.
Now, I very distinctly remember John saying that we will make that a historical building and that we will, that.
He said that there's a process for doing that.
That there
He
would
didn't
be a
say,
process.
he did not say.
No,
no,
but
we're
he's
gonna
saying
do
there
that.
could be a
Yeah.
process
Yeah.
of land and historical. So I feel like we almost were trying to just say, well, we can have it both ways. And this is the time to figure it out. And that's
Well, I
why,
don't think it is for us to figure out. What he was saying was that would be for the owner to figure out if something happened. There was a lot of, you remember, we're talking about all these hypotheticals. The hypothetical was, one of the businesses burns down. Can they rebuild on the full footprint that there are now? And then then the discussion came to,
Alright.
okay, and well, he could apply for historical status, which would then preserve that and get him out of that. So there was a lot more involved there. And now we're talking about how many hypotheticals can we plan for and discuss?
exactly, and that's why I'm saying historically, well, that's why I'm raising the question that the historical PUD worked very, very nicely
Yeah,
for Netherlands. So that's the only reason why I brought that discussion up.
okay.
I'm one of 8 people.
Well, no, I think others would agree with you, but I understood that the town wanted this. So for me to say, I like it more personally, I like the idea of review and exceptions and decisions that are more case by case. But I understood that the town kind of initiated that they wanted design standards, or that, that this was being implemented, because we can't have it both ways. We either can require it to look a certain way, or we can say it's all gonna be case by case. I mean, we didn't initiate this, right? This came.
No, this is the comp plan. This is all the comp plan process. This was all the engagements that we had here in this room. And the people came forward and what they wanted to do, they gave us the input that went into the comprehensive plan and the sub-area district plan that said, hey, these are the types of designs and that's what is going into this ordinance. So what we're essentially trying to do is protect the building to be what the feedback was for this comp plan process. So, I mean, there's as much public engagement as we were capable of having with our small community. And
But it
man,
was-
I just don't think we can figure out every single thing and get it put in here. We gotta, go with the 85% solution and know that if there is some extraordinary thing that happens in good faith, the town or the planning commission or the BOT is gonna try and work with whatever property owner is, and we're not gonna be out to host somebody and be like, this is the out to get, one property owner, ordinance or anything like that.
Jennifer's hands up, if you guys,
Please, continue.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
no, you're good, I just wanted to make
Yeah.
sure before we kept going. Go ahead, Jennifer.
I just wanted to ask a clarifying question, just to make sure that everybody knows this, and so I know this. For the zoning map in the area that we're looking at for this First Street overlay district, my understanding is that there are no existing PUDs in that area. Is that correct?
I don't believe there are.
Yeah, I don't think the map shows any PUDs.
I think uh, so whether it's a PUD or we use the PUD process, I think Kathmandu, that was to build the new building, that was done with the PUD process. And actually, so Jennifer, the process was, and also the barbecue place was used as a process of a PUD where we did specifically designed standards. At one time, it was any building over 3,000 square feet was actually, we used the PUD process. Then we went to 5,000. So both those buildings we did, planning commission, several hearings, public input for both those developments.
I recall for the barbecue place, a special review used for the outdoor eating. Was
Yeah,
there,
but that was way before that, yeah. But
Okay.
Mark Stringfeld, most definitely we used that hearing process. But yeah, I'm not, I'm just raising the question, and actually I'm glad I did, because I think this is a good, healthy discussion. And I think you've actually helped answer my questions too. So, yeah, I feel, yeah, and what Jennifer just said is, excuse me, Elizabeth said is valid, and so it's not really horrible. I'm glad I brought this question up.
And I think it makes the valid point that this is a more restrictive process. There'll be less exceptions or more compliance, but that was what was desired. So we really can't have it
Well,
both ways, and we're doing our best to find the sweet
well,
spot.
possibly more restrictive, I guess that's what my question is, because now it's gonna just go to staff. And, so we're not gonna actually have a public hearing, so that's,
Well, but
that
Jim
helped me
pointed
understand.
out that it may, in certain cases, that there are processes available.
well, for that.
Well, we can't, as staff, we have to hold to this, well, it'd really be John. He has to hold to this criteria, so it's not like we can make
No, I-
exceptions
I
or
understand.
variances either.
I understand.
But I see what you're meaning without like going to the public. But I think also the public did kind of interact with this process and give feedback to this process, and so the
That's
public.
what I don't, it really would have been nice to, it would have been nice to have been invited to one of those processes, as opposed to just on some generic thing that that we never get to read. But I would have loved to actually have it been, but that doesn't matter.
Okay,
That's,
yeah,
I think I sent one out to all the boards, but I could be wrong, because we did an online one and we
fine,
did
no,
that.
I don't wanna go down that.
That's fine.
Well-
It's more that 10 years from now.
Yeah.
When something's happened to actually have it. So, okay, I'm done.
no, I think you hit it right there. You hit the key right there. 10 years from now, the group 18 months ago, 2 years ago, of citizens got together and said, this is what we'd like our downtown corridor to look like. And we would like to tie the hands of future, to some degree, future planning commissions through the PUD process. So let's put some building standards in there that we can agree on, because they don't want a planning commission down the line to say, or a BOT to say, yeah, we want a big giant building here. So we're putting, a PUD process, I think can and probably still will happen, but these standards we're putting in place, which are a small number of things of the overall project that's gonna be, will be held to based on what the public said, what our SE group consultants said and put together, what we passed, and so, the process is what the process is. It'll never be perfect, but I feel pretty good about it. I mean, I feel like 327 engagements, for our community, was pretty good. And so, okay, further discussion. Well, the PUD process, do you feel comfortable, with that?
With the amendments to.
Yeah, or is there some,
17.
or the other question I should have said was,
I got I'm done.
You got it done, okay, great.
I got all the input I need, thanks.
A question on the parking.
Yeah,
So at the current time, the commercial buildings are exempt from, parking,
correct.
the
And
restrictions.
CPD.
So any new buildings would have, or new businesses would be considered exempt from this if we go forward with this. Otherwise, they're not exempt. Is that what we're looking at?
Jennifer, do you want to answer that? Cause I'm honestly not totally sure.
So the way that this is drafted is that ground floor commercial uses do not have to provide parking. But uses above the ground floor for residential or other non-commercial uses do have to meet the parking requirements for CBD. Then there was a question, if there are commercial uses above the ground floor, do those need to meet the off-street parking requirements?
And I thought, and I'll go back to the reason there's not any CBD requirement for parking right now is because there's just not the real estate for it. We've kind of looked at this multiple times that, you know, Linda and I certainly have been on the parking subcommittee. And I think the spirit of what we looked at as a problem was, look, we have to figure out another solution for offsite parking. Maybe, you know, Ron's solution of underground parking will work it someday, but, you know, right now, there's just not any real estate there. And so, you know, there's other options that we're looking at, and those will be kind of concurrently working towards, you know, some stuff over off of Lakeview Drive and a couple other locations that we're hoping to get some parking in the future. But I feel like the spirit of it would be that, no, we're not going to require any parking, you know, and now you have to figure out how to come up with the real estate to provide parking for any of those. I certainly understand that it would be different if they were apartments or something like that.
Well,
Well, like with Busey, we were talking about they have 5 designated parking places.
Yeah.
So do any of the other businesses have designated parking places, and do they need to?
I think the marijuana store does. I want to say it has 4.
Yep.
I'm not sure that any of the other
So
ones do.
some of them do have designated parks.
So we came later, and I believe it was actually a moratorium on the requirement for.
Yeah, we did, that's right.
So if you didn't get in before we put that moratorium in, you unfortunately had to meet those parking
Right,
requirements.
that's correct.
You know,
I
so
think Central Business District, there's no requirement for parking.
there isn't any, but she's saying, hey, you have some. Well, I think those guys put that in before we did that
Before, right.
moratorium. And that's why they're there. It's not that they, you know, and so now they would not be required to put that in if they were.
Haven't we exempted even the residential in the mixed use? Kathmandu is not required to have parking. They,
And could those that have
They
parking
gave
now
her-
take it away if they choose to?
Kathmandu's is behind the building, isn't it? For residential.
That's Ron's law.
no,
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, where it was a year or two ago that they, you know, they were saying they were required
Yeah.
and they, you know, couldn't do it. So that's when the entire moratorium
right,
went up.
moratorium.
And then a year later, they made it a rule, made it the law.
Yeah.
That right now, Central Business District. So maybe that's something that should be marked out to, you know, let's address it. Because I think mixed use, which we want,
Right.
and residential, there should be some, you know, some way there has to be a requirement. Otherwise, it's gonna become,
I just think it's something that we,
it needs to be a discussion and
Yeah,
Well, and can the existing parking spaces be, someone put in a deck or a patio if they prefer now? Since we're taking away that requirement, the ones that are there.
They're not taking away the requirement. That was all part of their building packet. So they put in a packet that said, this is what we're gonna do. That was all passed. It's not now that they're saying, oh, my packet's revised. You know,
That
they're
was-
just, if they built again, you know, if they came back and then did the same project, that would not be required, but no. I don't believe, you tell me if I'm wrong here, Jennifer.
They could put a patio over their parking places.
I don't believe so. I mean, they put in a building packet and a project, I mean,
If it went through some kind of SRU or something, then no, they wouldn't be able, they would have to come back to you guys to ask for that.
If it's something they just did, then
If
they'd
it's-
be allowed to. Yeah.
Yes, then they could technically, because there's no setbacks, they could technically come to me and if they were within code and
yeah,
Yeah.
we certainly want to.
I don't think that those businesses are interested in doing that though.
No,
I can't say that.
Makes it good for them. Yeah,
I
that's,
think it would be helpful to just go back, when we bring this back to you and review the parking standards. Because right now, when I look in the online code, under 16202, it does say in the CBD applicants shall meet their off-street parking requirements. And I don't know if there is, I know we had a moratorium in place at one point, but I don't know if that has been lifted.
That's a good question. I will have to do some research. on that.
I thought did it.
Okay, sounds like we have some more information
Get up.
required there.
Parking.
parking is always an issue.
Yeah. Magic parking garage, that's all.
Oh, I think, let's see, it was an ordinance. Let me see. It's loading, sorry.
No problem. Yeah. Very cozy group tonight.
It was 8:45. Ordinance 8:45, I think, Britt. Is that what
Okay,
you're-
yeah, it started at 8:29 with the temporary moratorium. So I think you're right
Mhm.
there. Yes.
So we
And-
extended the moratorium to April 1 of 2024.
Yeah, I don't
think
see
that
any-
Expired, actually.
Huh?
What? Who was that, Steve?
that was
That's
Steve.
me,
What,
sorry. I think that moratorium expired. Maybe,
Yeah.
Nicole can shed some light on it, but I think it expired.
It did.
Okay. We need to,
History here.
well, for this ordinance, we are setting the requirements. So certainly that's gonna be a due out that we're gonna need to get to sooner rather than later on the parking, I guess. But I don't know that that changes what we're trying to do with our ordinance and what it lays out for the overlay district. Does it, Jennifer? Am I wrong there?
It doesn't. No, it just to clarify that there are parking requirements right now in the CBD, and so this ordinance changes those requirements for only the overlay district.
Okay. So that is very good to know that if future businesses come forward in the CBD, that is no longer in effect. So we'll either need to, yep,
Definitely needs to be notated on that.
end it or again, or I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Another subcommittee, I guess. Okay. Other things about the other questions?
Could we not do, maybe I didn't understand that, Jennifer. Could we not do that though in this, since you were asking that parking question? Yeah, about the commercial, could we not essentially set the standards in this for at least this overlay district, which is really
Yeah.
CBD? So you
Can
can
if you want to.
be put in the ordinance if you guys don't want.
What you have in there is what we want.
Yeah,
What we have in
okay.
there. Yeah,
Okay,
I think we're good.
so no requirements for, but what about like the second story, third story? What if those are residential? Do you guys want requirements for that?
Well,
Like
that's what it
this-
says. doesn't it?
Residential.
Oh, does it? Sorry.
The question though that we did want to get asked or answered from you is, we understand that commercial on the ground floor does not require parking. But what if there is a commercial use on the second floor? Would that require parking?
Just as I said before, I think that the intent is to not restrict any commerce at all because of our parking limitations down there. And so I would say that even if it was above the ground floor, that it would still be exempt.
Yeah.
So we
That
had
means we're consistent with commercial versus residential.
Right,
The commercial residential should be the dividing line.
Okay, is that good,
I agree with
Jennifer?
that.
Yes.
You're in agreement with that, Steve?
Yes, yeah, as long, or maybe just some wording to say non commercial use of a second or third story, something like that, that delineates the residential from the commercial.
It says
Okay.
that.
Right, but what I'm saying is to make everyone understand exactly what that means.
so it says it currently,
Yes.
It says other non-commercial use. It says residential lodging or other non-commercial uses.
Okay.
okay,
That's it.
You're so smart, Jennifer.
This is why she writes them.
Sometimes, maybe.
Okay. Okay, let's go back and see. So that was the parking piece.
Yeah, the first question was on, do we want the publicly zoned parcels, AKA the visitor center and the town hall to be held to the same standards?
Now, what we didn't get was the reason why we would want to have town hall or the public owned zone not zoned to that standard. I'm just curious. Is there a reason why? That you know of or didn't?
I didn't get an answer if John had a opinion. Personally, I guess it doesn't matter. Jennifer, I don't know if you wanna, Jennifer, Nicole, do either one of you wanna speak on that? You're a little bit different than me.
I would say that as a general matter, it's okay to exempt out town-owned property from these regulations. That doesn't mean that you wouldn't try or you wouldn't want to meet these standards, but it just provides some flexibility for the town-owned property.
Okay. Certainly allows for greater flexibility if something was to change down the line, but, okay. And is that's pretty typical, government entities are exempted from code and stuff
Yes.
like?
Yep.
Does anyone have a strong opinion?
Any input on that there, Roger?
I have a strong opinion to follow Jennifer's advice.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I wish I could have recorded that.
Brittany.
You better believe it, this is gonna be online.
Okay, well, I agree. I think we're in agreement with that. then.
Okay,
So we got a yes on that, and I think we did come to a consensus. Yes, we agree with the boundary. There wasn't anybody, I think we were in agreement last month. There wasn't anything
Yeah.
since then, right? This parking standards, we figured that out. So roof types. Do you want to define roof types to include illustrative diagrams in an appendix or a design guide? There was a change from, and this was based on Attorney Matson's advice, from discouraged roof types to prohibited types for clarity. And so essentially they want to know that we want to try and show a picture and describe exactly what we're prohibiting with that. Or just keep it complex, just keep it general and let the town staff kind of decide.
yeah, so my recommendation would be to have pictures and definitions, because that's helped a lot with like the fence code. If you guys remember, we did that grading illustration.
That
and
was good.
That's been really helpful.
Yeah.
I don't get a lot of fence questions now, which is great, so
So made it a lot more
a
clear.
lot more clarity, yeah. Usually it's more so just, do I need to pull a permit?
Right,
That's about it.
I wish we had a builder here. I'm kind of surprised Ron didn't come to this. Because I haven't heard what the advantage of, or if there was ever a instance where you would want to do something like that in a development, where you would want to have a complex roof type. I think that's more for special architecture or houses, residential houses, right?
Yeah, from what I've learned, it's just a lot of those roof types were very popular, within years ago.
Yeah.
And from fire standards to fighting fire and just development in general. It's the roof types that they're building now are more efficient, more affordable. And from like a fire standpoint, a lot easier to do like ventilation and things like that.
But it's a safety issue as well.
Correct, yeah.
Okay,
And also with this environment too, with the wind and the heavy snow loads.
You wouldn't want one of those.
Right.
You would not.
Right.
Yeah.
and so it sounded to me like the staff was recommending that we go with the illustrations and the types. Is there anybody that has an issue with that, with that, that is against that?
And then for me, just on the prohibited language, I just think it makes it clear that instead of saying discouraged, but obviously whatever you guys think is more appropriate. Cause we see that a lot in our code where they're like, oh, it's discouraged, but I can do it. So but it's up
I
to
think
you guys.
clarity is important.
And it also gives you something.
A clear direction.
picture
Mhm.
and more definitive answers.
Correct, yes.
I agree with all of that. Okay, so let's make it prohibited because you're right. I've been strongly warned against doing something I went ahead and did in my life multiple times. And,
No way.
most of the time it worked out poorly. Okay.
Those are our only questions, but if there's additional feedback to this ordinance, because the goal would be for us to finalize it, make these amendments and bring this for a vote next meeting. But if that's not where everyone's head's at, or if there's more that we need to look at and research, just let Jennifer and I know.
No, you gotta take yes for an answer. No, I think that we want to get this put to bed too and get it onto the, I don't want to speak for anybody else, but I personally would like to move this on to the BOT. They seem very antsy about getting something done before the end of the year. And the bottom line is, if they're unhappy with something that we put in here, they're gonna change it anyway. So, I think this is a good document, everything we're doing, we're just trying to do the best we can, take the feedback from the public, put together the best product we can put together, and we can't figure out every single thing, that we need to be done, but, and if there's something that comes up later, that's what I keep coming back to is we're gonna try and work with you in good faith wherever possible. There's nobody here where we're trying to, somebody comes forward with a project where we're trying to, where it makes sense, or there's some extraordinary thing that we couldn't have foreseen, that they are somehow bound by that. And I don't think that this ordinance does that.
And it feels like we will be getting feedback from the trustees and,
I'm sure.
and so we can build on those instances.
Well, I hope not. I hope that they just go ahead and take it and, they make the changes they want to make and pass it.
Well, I agree with that too.
Okay, any further discussion on this before we move on to our next agenda item? Anything to add, Attorney Madsen?
No, Chair Reese.
Great. It's been a process for sure. So once we get this part done, we will have gotten the first goal that was in the sub-area plan and the overlay and the comprehensive plan. So, we're a year, not even a year out, and we're making progress. This was one of the first recommendations. So hopefully we get this passed before the end of the year, and we will then have stated, been able to put into code, what we want the shape of our town to look like. I think that'll be very good. So, all right, next agenda item then.
So Cass just pulled in. I forgot to tell her we start at 6 and she's used to SAP.
Okay.
So she's about to walk.
Well, then that's perfect timing.
Yeah. So I don't know if you want to maybe take a 5 or
Well,
if
let's
you guys
do that.
don't mind.
While she gets her stuff set up, let's go ahead and take a break until 7 o'clock.
Okay,
then we will reconvene.
I'm going to mute you guys. I'm gonna mute us on here as she gets her stuff set up, and then we'll be right back.
Surprise. Convene, please.
Six, in those residential zones, it's when.
We are unmuted.
Okay.
Or parking lot to have commercial business. That's where the conflict is, it's not the thinking of the burden.
Right.
Okay, we are back from break. We have Cass here, our sustainability coordinator, to present the next item, which is the item 5.2, Local Impact Accelerator Grant. And I'll be honest with you, I'm hoping that you can boil this down because I read through this, but there's some stuff that jumped out at me, but there's some stuff that clearly is above my head.
No, no worries. And yeah, so this grant, the full application is due in February. So what we're looking at right now is the letter of intent, which is due November 17th. So, essentially the letter of intent, they are expecting like 60% of a full application's worth to be submitted. So it's a little different than some other grants, letter of intent. But really, this grant is broken down into like two aspects, policy and projects that they're looking for policies and projects that are specifically community oriented and advance local climate and energy goals and align with the greenhouse gas pollution reduction roadmap that the state created. And so this is one of the few grants that is kind of related to emissions reduction and decarbonization that like got through the kind of like funding freeze that the current administration put on a lot of grants. And I think the EPA was just they gave out this funding to the Colorado Energy Office before that freeze went into place. So it's pretty cool that they have all of this funding for policies and projects. The catch though is that they will not provide project funding unless we are doing a policy that kind of like qualifies. So something that they like approve of. And the nice thing is that in their like guidance document, they outline the types of policies that they're looking for. So in this aim, I outlined the policies that I thought aligned with the comprehensive plan. And these are all policies that they have, that Colorado Energy Office is basically saying, yes, these qualify for the grant. Because they essentially want things that go beyond the minimum. So like, we're adopting new energy codes. So that process, that as a policy would not count towards this grant. We couldn't use that. But if we wanted to go beyond this energy code and the model low energy and carbon code, then like that would qualify as a policy. So there's a few like strict things in here, but we're working with someone from CC4CA, which is Colorado Communities for Climate Action, and they are very well versed on this. So I've already gone through with Britt. We've gone through these policies with that representative, and she's already like told us that all of these would qualify. So essentially, from this list of policies, I'm just hoping that Planning Commission can provide some insight on like what you all think would be a priority out of like these kind of top 5 that we identified. And then with the projects, essentially, if we do one of these policies or 2 of these policies, they're not really limiting the number. Then we would qualify for project funding. And so I listed 4 different projects that, again, we went through and we basically double checked that all of those would qualify. And so the nice thing is that whatever policy we do, like we could do one about ADUs, the project doesn't actually have to align with the policy, which is kind of weird. But they're saying that as long as the project is within our, they outlined their categories, then they'll accept it. So if we like want to do like transportation planning instead, as our project, like they would still fund that.
Could we do multiple projects?
We could, yeah. So really, I think with the policies and projects, it's just up to us of, what we think we have the capacity for. The nice thing is that they're asking for basically 3 different budgets. So the first budget is like up to $500,000, which for like a small town like us is still kind of a lot of money. But essentially saying like, this is what we would do if we got like more of a constrained budget. And then they're asking for a standard budget up to 2 million, which is saying like, if we could do more things, we would want to do this, this, and this.
Hmm.
And so it's kind of, they're like asking us to prioritize it, right? So that's why I'm asking you all, like, how would you rank them? Like, what would you prioritize out of these? And then obviously if you have other ideas, like we can always run those by Anna with CC4CA. And I'm happy to speak on any of the individual policies more as well.
Do you know more about the ADU friendly policies? What that?
The reduction.
More than what it says right here?
Yeah, so there's a designation called the ADU supportive jurisdiction. And so they're basically saying the things that you would need to qualify to become the ADU supportive jurisdiction, that would be like qualify as a policy. So let me look up what those things are.
I was gonna say, is it the ones listed here, the pre-approved ADU plans?
Yes, yes, it is.
Yep, so the pre-approved ADU plans, technical assistant or fee waivers. And then, yeah, so that exceeds what we currently offer right now, which is nothing.
So what you're saying is that the grant would then provide for us to be able to maybe do this to waive fees or something like that?
It would subsidize, or it
Okay.
could subsidize then the otherwise fees from the builder, owner.
Yes.
And that to me is the highest priority, because building costs have become so, like,
Yeah,
people can't even build anymore. It's so outrageous. I would even up that in terms of the incentives we offer if an ADU is part of the design. I mean, I don't know if you're allowed, but like something to address the insanely high tap fees. Could something of that be subsidized? Because that is really what I think I
I
hear.
can ask on that. I know there's not a lot of grants that allow that or offer that yet, but like, to me, pre-approved ADU plans, if you took like the average land size here, maybe for some of those smaller, I mean, it's
I don't know
expensive
that
to
their
actually have
designs would be
architectural.
that useful though, because there's hardly any flat properties left.
That's
So
true.
They're still
Yeah.
gonna have to pay their architect and engineer and
Yeah.
all, you know.
well, I don't know though, but that would also mean that if it was pre-approved, that means that it would be fast tracked, because you knew all the, like, if you had 3 different designs,
Yeah.
that town hall.
Then it
hey,
would
this
really
works with
just
all our
be
building
their-
code.
Yeah, it would really just be
The
our
review would be-
engineer looking at their grading,
Yeah.
their driveway.
Well,
I think
Yeah.
it's more expensive than you would think. I don't think
Yeah.
a design for a flat property is useful to most net builders. I mean, I don't think that's much of
An
an
ADU
incentive.
could be, a basement is an ADU. So
A what?
the basement can be an ADU, so
Yeah.
you're not talking
Yeah.
a separate building. But, you know,
No,
we
even
worked
as a
for over
basement,
a
you would-
year
you
to
would-
come up with standards for the ADUs.
Yeah.
And we have like 18 good points.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously, the big one is the water and sewer taps, which is the board of trustees. And they are, they have a horrible task of trying to keep water and sewer rates in this. So
Yeah,
that discussion, in some ways doesn't really need to be a planning, but it's certainly understood and well qualified.
Yeah.
But we have unbelievable taps where it is. So
Yeah.
when someone says, well, I need a break, then that becomes, well, everybody needs a break. So
Yeah.
that's a hard discussion.
Yeah. But we
Um,
could ask our representative if maybe they're allowed to, maybe it's like, here's a set amount
Right.
towards your,
That's what I was thinking.
But
I
we
mean,
certainly,
flat fee.
yeah.
we certainly should entertain, you know, ways to make it more affordable.
Yes.
But in some ways, well, that's a whole nother discussion, you know, without me wanting to go all the way down there and start a whole nother discussion. In a lot of ways, ADUs are, you know, but it's an 800 square foot thing. It's a small apartment and basement. A lot of ways, it's not really the way to solve what we need the housing in our town. It's actually, you know, a 25 unit building and, you know, so that's how we're gonna solve.
Yeah.
The housing thing. It's not gonna be 3 or 4 people that decide they wanna do an ADU. So that,
But I don't know.
so that's a discussion that would go on and on. So as I
Yeah.
said, we should.
I don't know if it'd just be 3 or 4. I mean, you might end up
But
with a
the
couple
idea
dozen
of
people that
the
do something over the next
tax.
5 years.
Yeah,
The taps
Yeah.
and an 800 square foot ADU, yeah, that's where, you
The
know,
obstacles.
quarters would become viable.
And another thing we were looking at, because I know we all always go to what we know, which is like ADUs, is the adopt a complete streets policy. So that's commit to integrating bike, pedestrian, transit infrastructure into all roadway improvement and new development projects aligning with our comprehensive and multimodal plan. So that's something to look at as well, because we have that huge plan
That's a good,
with all that stuff that we can't afford.
That's a huge one, yeah.
Yeah, So-
Is there any of these that are more likely to be,
awarded.
that from the state, from the staff perspective, like, you know, this is something that we need in our community and this, we can actually accomplish this. You know, that this is likely to happen. You know, of the 5 that we have here, you know, do you guys have any that rise above? Or maybe we should just go down the list and give our
Ratings.
opinions on,
Yeah.
on what we think we, you know.
We could rank the choices.
I
and then we
think
Could get.
that would be
Is
super
that what you want?
helpful for us.
I think, yeah.
Yeah,
that would help you out.
yeah, if you
Okay.
guys wouldn't mind.
So
I
from
mean,
the
because we could
first
still
5
go from there.
policy options,
Yep, so those were the 5 we narrowed it down to.
And you want us to
or
pick
casted.
one policy and one project option?
no, I think we should rank
I
all of
think
that.
ranking,
Oh,
Just
rank
ranking,
that.
yeah, just rank them in a whole, as a whole.
Okay. Okay, well. Where do we rank number 1? Adopt enhanced building energy policies.
Like my rankings, for example, would be, ADU would be number 1,
Okay,
EV would be number 2. Complete streets would be number 3. Energy policies, number 4, and the parking, number 5.
whew, last on the parking, huh?
Gotta rank means something's gotta be number 5. And I also really think we need to keep parking available for, you know, disabilities and other accessibilities that should be considered. So I don't love eliminating parking entirely.
No, number 3, if the parking, when we talked about it like an old time, the entire neighborhood said, you know, it's ridiculous what we have. What are you talking about? Eliminating it.
Right.
And so, yeah, the little areas are tough, yeah. I kinda like, number 1, would be number 1. Number 5 and then number 4 and 3 and 2 would be about equal. The ADU,
Okay.
because I think our ADU code is what it needs to be.
Yeah.
I would put that above the parking, but yeah, the parking in residential areas is tough.
Mhm.
I'll tell you what, I think we're all gonna have a different ranking of the list. And I don't know how.
Okay.
It's okay, then you would.
Yes, yeah,
Cause I can
We can
compare.
compile
Yeah.
that. We can-
yeah,
Cause at least we wanna come to a consensus on a top priority, I think.
well, and I think too that this helps Kath and I look at like what we were thinking
Okay.
and then.
And I will bring this to SAB as well, and, you know, they're gonna have their own opinions, but I'm gonna bring all of that to the board of trustees will be like, planning
I'll do
commission.
whatever process you,
Yeah.
you guys
Yeah.
wanna. Okay. Steve, you got something there you wanna add on the rankings for the priorities for the, policy options?
I'm confused what we're trying to do here. I thought we were gonna try to sort of pick something that's most important to us.
Yeah,
like your
so
number
they're,
one priority.
yeah, so they're just ranking them based on which one's most important to them, so which one's the least important to them. So like, just ranking like, if ADU is most important to you, that's your number one, well, what's your number two?
Right,
Just to see if we can find a correlation.
but you want all five ranked? Is that
Yeah.
what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Well, I sort of agree with what Elizabeth said as far as her choices, except I think I would still keep building energy policies number one. I would keep the off-street parking last. I'd move up the streets policy to probably 3, and then well, between 4, tied between 3 and 4 would be the EV and the ADU.
So
So he had number one as his first choice.
so one, and then
Streets, sounded like streets was second.
streets was, complete streets was second, yeah, okay. And then you, ADUs was third, or EVs was third. It was kind
Or
of,
is it tied?
So they're
Uh,
about-
Well, energy above the ADU.
energy above ADU, okay. Yeah, well, energy policies, I
And
think we
then-
said,
Last is the parking.
yeah, okay, so I have energy policy, then complete streets, then ADU slash EV, and then parking.
Does that sound right?
Yep.
Yeah, perfect. Linda?
I keep going back and forth on this.
It's okay.
Well, I would keep one as is, and then I would do the streets and, so number 4 on that one. And then, probably number 2,
Okay,
and then,
you can
Probably-
combine them if you need
Yeah,
to.
it's
I
okay.
would say probably 3 and 5 together.
Okay. That's perfect.
Cool, thank you.
All right, Chair Reese.
All right, so we're gonna go, number one with ADUs, policy. The, streets friendly, complete streets policy for number 2. The, energy EV, fleet first policy 3. Parking 4, and the energy buildings last for me.
Okay.
But I will be honest with you, I'm speaking from a place of ignorance on a lot of these things, because I don't really understand a lot about what goes into adopting enhanced building energy policies, so I kind of go with more, it's like Linda said, we go with what you know, right? And so I know what we need right now, and, in our town is ADUs, and I would love to see this trail network and streets, so that's what informed me. But I'd be open to changing my mind based on further information if at some point, you came back and said, hey, this is why this would make more sense for us.
Yeah, and we're gonna create this letter of intent, and then when we submit that, we'll receive back, basically, they'll tell us, we encourage you or discourage you to apply, and they'll tell us like what makes sense and what they might wanna see changed in our application. And so when we get that feedback, we'll bring that back to, the boards and just, see if it still makes sense.
Yep,
And will you be submitting multiple, so there's 5 options here, will you submit multiple projects or just one?
So for projects, I think.
Policies, I'm sorry.
Oh, for policies, I'm thinking we are going to put 2 down for like the, constrained budget, and then I would put 3 policies down for the like standard budget.
Oh, nice.
And then I think I might put all 5 for the vision
Dream
budget.
big,
because
yeah.
that's- You know, it's not gonna happen,
Yeah.
but, you know, I think they wanna see everything you're thinking of, you know?
Yeah.
But I might not put the parking one because it seems like everyone ranked that really low. So-
Yeah.
Well, the big the overall one, the large capital improvements one is for the parking garage. That's the parking one. What we know is that, you know, we need a parking garage.
Yeah.
And it's probably gonna be $5 to $10 million, and that seems unattainable right now.
Right.
But yes, if they had some huge amount of money there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So unfortunately with the projects, they are discouraging us from submitting for construction because it triggers QAPP, which is something with the EPA, Quality Assurance
Mhm.
Project Plan, and then Davis-Bacon and related acts. And so I think they just want to avoid that to make it easier for them. So I think for construction, that's why we're focusing more on like funding the plans. And then we can at least get them to shovel ready so that when we find funding for the construction, then it's like they're good to go.
Yeah, so like, well, right now, a lot of our plans are mention what to do besides the transportation plan, which kind of has like some specifics. Where this would make that project like ready to go, and that's what grants want to see,
Great.
so.
Yeah, and then we don't have to rank the projects the same way. I mean, happy to, but at the same time, like, I think a lot of these relate to the policies as well. I think the one that's kind of weird is the electric equipment for trail maintenance and
Yeah.
snow removal. So that one I put on here because there is a state requirement that, for like small landscaping,
Yeah.
equipment, it's all electric and we just haven't, we don't have Yeah. we don't have the funding to like do that, and I haven't been able to find a grant to fund that, so, I put that one on there just as like, if we are able, it's more like a vision thing, you know?
Did you want us to rank these the same way that we just did the other ones or
You
not?
don't have to,
I certainly, the order you have in here is pretty good, other than the number 3 I would put last.
Okay,
No, I take that back. I would probably put active transportation planning last, because we just did a big multimodal transportation plan. And we haven't implemented
so that one.
90% of the stuff from that plan.
Yeah, so that one, the idea with, maybe I should call it something else, cause I think it's misleading. That one, the idea is you take what we've planned in the multimodal plan
Yeah.
and you say, okay, how do we get this to shovel ready?
Okay.
So you're doing the. Yeah.
advances what we
It's
have.
supposed to be advancing it, so I should.
Okay,
I would do 1, 2, 4, 3.
One, two,
My
three,
ranking.
for projects?
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree with that. Now that I understand the active transportation planning piece, yes. I agree with that same ranking.
And I also agree 1, 2, 4, 3. But a quick question, do they encourage like public-private partnerships? Does that help with some of these proposals?
I don't remember them specifically mentioning that. What were you thinking?
Well, in
Thinking
other
like-
words, if you put in a proposal and you have, let's say, a private firm that wants to help with a particular project, does that carry more weight if you're showing, maybe matching funds or something like that? I mean, you don't have to answer it, but it's something I'm just wondering if it's something for us to consider.
That's an interesting
We
question.
can ask.
I think that's a good question for us to ask. Cause I do not know the answer.
Because on some proposals, that makes a huge weight difference. And I don't know
Yeah.
how this program is set up for that sort of thing.
Yeah, so I think the main thing that they're trying to get across is that they want policy to be the first thing that we're thinking about, and then projects is kind of like, it's a way to incentivize us, I think, to do more policies. It's like, oh, we'll give you funding for this project, but you have to do policies first. So that's the main takeaway that I'm hearing, because I already did one round and a lot of municipalities applied and they weren't strong enough on the policies, and so they didn't give them funding.
Oh,
Well,
Yeah,
that's a good way to learn it too.
yes.
Do you
Yeah.
have rankings for your projects?
Yeah. Are we ready for that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
If you
1,
want.
4, 3.
1, 2, 4, 3 as well. Okay. Do you have any opinions?
Not really, I'll go with that.
Okay.
Ranks
are the same.
Consensus.
is this an annual, something they're gonna do every year? Or is this just a one-time kind of thing? Or we don't know?
I don't think we know
We
yet.
don't.
It was, yeah, I don't think we know. I think they have funding for 2 rounds and this is the second round.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, great. I happened to listen or read through to the financial report, and I saw that we are, more than $1 million less in grant funding this year than we had been last year, which is some of our budget issues. So
Wow.
anything that we could get is in Rita's report there will be helpful. So
Yeah.
okay. Anything else that you would like from us, or is there other stuff you'd like to present?
No, the rest of this aim just talks about, kind of the financial aspect of it, and there's 0% match qualification if we focus on, for our low income, households essentially, so, we can qualify for 0% match, because we do have a census tract in town limits that is like within their parameters for 40 to 60% low income. And so that's really nice for us because we can, offer it to the whole town and still qualify for 0% match. But
That's
yeah,
never heard of.
But we'd
I
have
know.
to do we have to do a 5% match for
so
non-qualifying.
it's kind of weird wording, but essentially because like if you look at that map I included, there's like the kind of it's like the pink and then there's the beige.
Mhm.
And the pink is the census tract that is in that like 40 to 60% low income. And so as long as we're offering at least 40% of the funds to like benefit
Mhm.
that other census tract, we qualify for 0% match. So, because it's like half the town, that's going to make us
Great.
qualified, basically, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of weird,
Half the town is in a lower income bracket than the other half?
yeah. Yeah.
What's the divider? It's the reservoir?
Yeah,
It looks like it, but it looks like Big Springs is the low income area.
no, Big Springs is the higher income.
Am I reading this wrong?
So the 0 to 20% is like, that's the percent low income households in there.
Oh, I was reading it wrong.
Yeah, yeah, so Big Springs is the higher income.
Nice.
But it's, yeah,
This is interesting. Thank you for preparing this.
yeah, no problem. Yeah, so just next steps, I'm gonna bring what you guys said to the Sustainability Advisory Board and then talk with our representative from CC4CA. And then bring all of this to the next Board of Trustees meeting, and basically decide on which ones to include in our letter of intent. Yeah, and then I'll come back, once we hear.
Give us an update?
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever had you, since I've been here, before the planning commission passed. Did you want to tell us a little bit about
Oh, yeah, I guess.
what you do and tell us, how long you've been with the town as the sustainability coordinator?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I started October of last year, so I've been here about a year.
Yep.
And before this, I did an AmeriCorps fellowship with the city of Grand Junction, and I worked in their sustainability department, which was within community development, so very similar to where I am now with Britt. And I helped them. They were working on their sustainability action plan. It was the first one that they'd ever done. So we got to see that through to being passed and yeah, then I started here, saw the job position and talked with Erica Thorley, who had this position before me. I think it was her and then Leah and then me. And yeah, Erica's on our sustainability advisory board now, so because she still lives in Netherland. But yeah, I have been working on zero waste outreach, mostly just education, working with Boulder County on that. Working on like energy, renewable energy aspects, trying to, help residents go solar. So that we have like a solar group buying program that is now, I don't know if they're gonna continue it because the energy tax credit went away, but I was working on that for a while. And then a lot of these grants and going to, hopefully, we're gonna start our new energy action plan with Partners in Energy soon. So that process as well. Yeah, just a lot of little things.
Yeah, when Peter left,
Yeah.
Cass and I took over social media, our new website, which is still gonna go live, just not yet because
Yeah.
there's some issues. And she does the newsletter, so Cass has really plugged herself in a lot of areas, and I'm very glad that I picked her.
Well done.
So, yes, she's awesome.
Well, thank you for coming and filling us in tonight. Well, I hope that we gave you some useful feedback.
Yeah, definitely.
And then,
Appreciate it.
yeah, we'd like to hear how this can, I would love to see the multi-modal plan, if we could get that project piece, advanced, because there's some really good stuff in there that just isn't being implemented right now.
Yeah.
What a cool line of work you have too.
Yeah, no, I get to do kind of fun things in different areas, so I like it.
Well, it's nice to put a face with the name
Yes,
when
Right.
you're getting these
yes.
messages, yeah.
Right.
Well, I
that's- yeah,
appreciate
true.
that.
Yeah, no problem. I really appreciate you all, just giving me your feedback.
Okay,
And you made it to the meeting just in time.
I know, I was like, I'm sorry.
yeah.
It worked out perfect.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you very much, and we look forward to hearing more about that. We'll move on to our informational items then, and I'll leave it to Britt to highlight anything before Cass might actually have something to say about that. I know under the town report, she always gives us an update on the town charging unit
Yes.
over there, so I'm sure that'll be interesting.
Yeah,
But
actually,
what you want to tell us?
yeah, do you have anything you wanna add? You don't have to, but if you, okay, well, I do have an update. I found the keys to the charger and reset it today. So
Oh.
tomorrow, let's see if we have it working level 3, so.
Do we need to get an EV out there?
I have to have them do a full reset first and then probably, yeah. So I might reach out to Rich or someone. But yeah, so that's what, who knows, you guys could have a working charger and you'll get an email from me if you do.
Nice.
Because I will be so happy.
I was gonna say that celebration.
Oh my goodness, yeah. So I really, instead of, not that our staff didn't work hard on their reports, but as you see, I didn't do one. I was just too swamped with the investigation. And so I really kind of wanted to highlight like where we're at right now with that. So as you guys know, fire took place. Right now, ATF is still investigating, and so we don't have any dates for like full cleanup, like they've done some overhaul, of course. But like full cleaning up until that investigation is done and rebuilding. We have been told that there is a plan to redesign and get that built when they're able to. John and I have been doing a lot of work as well as the businesses kind of doing their own work to get businesses placed in new buildings. So we were able to get a certificate of occupancy issued for the mercantile side of the Volt, which is the name of the bank now. And so from what I've heard, they just pulled a permit. Very nice, will be going up at the top. There's a couple little other businesses that will be kind of filling those in between. And then once their kitchen portion is done, that will open up, but those will actually be new businesses from what I'm hearing. Those won't be businesses that are in there. And you saw we had an individual come tonight there are people coming kind of from left and right trying to figure out how. the Clinica is being moved. They just pulled permits. They're gonna be on the bottom floor of Poppy Plaza, so you will getting some kind of SRU coming here. I don't know, yeah, but
Which is the building right behind Calvary Chapel. Church.
yes,
Yep.
yeah, so we're doing a lot of work to like, where can we get people, what can they do, like, is there home occupation stuff people can, like, we're just looking into everything right now. And I mean, if you've been on social media or websites, I mean, there's plenty of people that are pouring back into the community. There's gonna be several events that are coming up that I'll make sure to share with everyone, and that it sounds like the proceeds will go to the food pantry to then be distributed properly. And so just wanted to update that. Train cars and the carousel are both open. I believe BNF open too. I don't know if,
Yeah.
anyway, I want to say on the
Yeah.
12th, yeah. And so, yeah, so right now we're really just waiting to see what happens with that investigation and when we can start putting out more information on demo and what's happening next and how much more cleanup. There is on Thursday, there is an air quality town talk, if you guys are interested at all. I also on the website, we did post, they did some air quality testing. So there's a whole post on that from that original source. And so, yeah, we're kind of still really working through this. Right now, we are, as you'll see on, if you are on social media or if you have any other advices on where I should be putting stuff, I've just kind of been website, social media, net heads, that kind of thing. The laundry hours are changing week per week. We have the laundry trailer at in front of the trailer park by the green construction fence. It really depends on their volunteers and who they're able to get. And so I'll weekly be posting what those hours are. But in the meantime, we're just recommending people reach out to Nutterland Food Pantry, EFA, our co-responder Lynette, Peak to Peak Human Services, the Nutterland Mountains People's Co-op remains open and supporting local food access. And then the Colorado Division of Insurance can assist with questions about insurance and claims. So you can push people our way if they're not sure who to talk to. The community center is actively taking names of volunteers, and we're kind of figuring out like where can we have volunteers, because we got a lot of outreach about what can I do, how can I volunteer, where can I send money, those kind of things. So really, go ahead.
Will they post those hours on the laundry? Up
Yep,
there?
so they're posted on there, like this week, for instance, it's 9 to 5:30 and it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So they had a Saturday open last week. They're just not able to get enough volunteers this week, but they're gonna try to have as many Saturdays as possible. So it'll just change it, hopefully 3 days minimum, 4 to 5 days, max, so. Well, that
And
we
you
could,
send some of those people offering help to their organization to
yes,
volunteer.
yes, yeah. And then we're still looking to figure out like where can a laundry unit go, so. A lot of planning kind of going on our end. So really just kind of wanted to address that. Another thing that I did want to bring up, that is unrelated to that is we're still in the process with Gilpin County Lions and, Central City for the multi-jurisdictional housing, authority. And so we are going, I know we weren't able to have a lot of times because there's kind of a lot of events going on, but the representative is coming here Tuesday, the 28th from 5:30 to 6:30 in this room. And we'll just be kind of doing some engagement and essentially showing the PowerPoint presentation and talking more about that. I can send you guys a PowerPoint presentation if you're not able to
It's
come.
next Tuesday, there's a presentation. Could you tell me what that was again? What
Yeah,
is it on?
it is, so it's on it's just a community discussion for the multi-jurisdictional housing. So you can do it online or in person. And I can send you guys that invitation. But we're going to be allowing both because we know some people are just like getting off of work and things like that. Unfortunately, she was not able to do it later.
And is this informational? They're giving us information or?
Yep,
they-
so we did, the group as a whole, she did a lot of the research, but all of us meet once a week. And we have been talking through, what the cost would look like if we were to have our own housing authority that would be shared with Gilpin, Central City, Lyons, and ourselves. And what that cost would look like for each county or city to put in money. And so they did it based on population. So like we're one of the smaller contributors because we're one of the smaller
I see.
populations there. And so right now that's not currently within our budget, but there's a whole detailed, which again, I'm happy to send around if you can't come, outline of what that cost looks like, what it would look like personnel wise. And so essentially we would have somebody doing the housing stuff that I do now and helping with those affordability pieces. And we would be able, if we had our own affordable housing, these individuals would be able to get paid to do that for all of us and help with that, like coordination of all that. So I'll send that PowerPoint out that when she came to present for the Board of Trustees. But
Oh, was it a BOT meeting? Is that what?
it was a BOT meeting. This is just, we're just doing kind of engagement, just to get an idea of if the community thinks this is worth our time. It sounds like, Lyons was invited, Gilpin was invited, Central City. Some of them, like Gilpin's holding their own, but we've invited their communities to come here as well if they want.
Okay.
So we'll see how it goes, but I will have an online link that for anyone who wants to attend virtually, and then we will be here in person.
Definitely should get something on NetHeads or something about that to get some. If you want some public.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
yeah, so I put it on our website. I was gonna share on NetHeads because I didn't want to put it too far out because we've had so much kind of
Yes.
fire stuff going on, and I really wanted to allow for that time and space without just throwing everything at them. The other thing is, you know, there's kind of lack of staff here right now, just people are having health issues. But our administrative assistant is moving over here as the new Kurt, essentially. So we are hiring for an administrative assistant.
What's the new Kurt?
So Kurt's leaving, and so Holly will be, essentially, it's like Don's right-hand man, just like the manager of, the community center. And so, we are hiring at town hall. If you know of anyone, if you're interested, anyone come work with me. We're hiring full-time, and so you'll probably see all of our faces more because we're gonna be in the office making up that time, because Holly will officially be moving over here as of the 31st.
So more work for you guys to distribute amongst each other.
We're figuring it out.
Fully in-person position.
Yes, so it's a Monday through Friday, fully in person, 9 to 5. Yep. Yep, and we have had quite a good amount of resumes come through so far, but I just like to put it out there. If you know of anyone or,
Yeah.
you know, if you can share it, the more, the better. So we can start doing those interviews. There is, which I kind of went through with you guys already, there is a specific, Caribou Village Fire. Sorry, we just had someone from the public join, Kathleen. There is a fax about the Caribou Village Fire on the website. If you guys want to look at the specific, like, time it started, time ended, all of that. So it's more detailed than what I went over tonight.
Okay,
But other than that, that's really all that I have. You can go through the staff reports and kind of see everyone's specific. I think they'll be maybe a little bit, I'm not sure how detailed they were because I didn't look, but you'll see one from me next month, when I have more time. And we will continue to keep you updated on the website and about like where we're at in the investigation.
certainly understand, fire stuff takes priority, There's only so many hours in a day.
Yeah,
I did read through the staff report and I had one very small request.
Okay,
That
yeah.
you could back burner it till you have time.
yeah, no, I love that.
But the update on the license renewals, new renewals issued, short-term rentals.
Yeah.
If you could say how many are new and how many are renewals. 'Cause
Okay.
the 6, it wasn't clear if that
Yeah.
was combined or if that was just new.
Okay, no, I totally, yeah, that's great. I will give that feedback to Macy so we can break that down so you know. Yep, that's great feedback.
Any Eldora news coming anytime soon, or is that coming after the first of the year, you think?
So I'm not sure if they'll have another, I'm sure there's gonna be another FAQ questions that are posted, but right now, as far as I know, it's still moving forward. That hasn't stopped. So John, John is doing fire and Eldora at the same time and just kind of moving forward there.
3 people struck.
Yes,
Yeah, well, okay, in progress. Sounds good.
correct.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Any questions for Britt, Steve, or anybody in the room?
So the old chalet where Steve-O has that, is that available for any businesses to be put in there?
The Black
That's
Forest.
a Black Forest. It is up for lease right now. It's a pretty hefty price. I don't know,
Which businesses can afford to?
yeah, and, we are trying to talk to like business owners and maybe come up with creative ideas, but I don't know if anything will come from that or not.
There's a lot of peanut work that needs to happen inside.
Inside that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
He estimated, I listened into the BOT meeting on Tuesday last week, and the gentleman who's the representative from Mr. Tebow said that he estimated it could be several $100,000 in a minimum of 6 months
For cleanup.
to get it up to standard, yeah, because
Fire.
for Black Forest to be occupied by any new
No,
business.
I understand, but
Yeah,
what I couldn't quite get is whether it had been allowed to deteriorate, and he had to clean the place up, or it was, recent from the fire.
no,
oh,
it's
no,
not fire.
it's just the
no.
building itself.
Oh, they just never had cleaned
No,
up,
it's-
because he's done everything around the
Yeah,
outside.
the parking and the retaining wall have all been permitted.
But
and-
not that it
crap
matters,
inside,
but that's what I was,
I was in there last
Right,
year,
wonderful.
they had a tenant in the apartment upstairs that we moved out of there, and it's in rough shape. Plus they talked about some roof structure issues, and that there's just a lot of stuff, unfortunately.
that's very old.
I tried to log into the BOT meeting last week and
Mhm.
couldn't get in. It was after the meeting started. I just wondered if there were.
Was it like
people that
7,
had
10-ish?
Maybe.
Because the meeting started late. I'll talk to, I'll talk to Macy and John about that, because the meetings were linked, and usually they have 2 separate invitations for their executive session and and I noticed that happened, so I'm guessing that's why, and I'll just make sure Macy is on top of that, because I know I had to add a lot of people, so that could have been missed by me, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about that. But I will be putting everything, updating YouTube tonight with all those videos, so I'm happy to share that with you. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh,
No, you're fine. I don't want us to hear.
No.
okay,
Yeah.
we're kind of devolving down into side discussion here, so let's go ahead and, so thank you for the staff information. Well, under other businesses, there's some other discussion, anything that wants to be brought up?
Well, I'm not certain it was really shit. It was really about that last month meeting on the home occupation, but maybe I should just come and sit down and talk to you.
I would love that, yeah.
That sounds like a great plan.
Yeah.
Entertain a motion.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Oh, sorry.
I just wanted to, just under other business, just a very quick note that, since, Ralph Hunt, who used to be on the planning commission, passed away in September, he, actually survived pancreatic cancer for over 3 years, which is an incredible, feat in itself. Anyway, there's going to be his, funeral celebration of life, tomorrow at St. Rita Church at 11 o'clock. The public is invited to come, but I figured because some of the planning commission members knew and worked with Ralph, they would be interested to attend. And I think there was supposed to have been a obituary in the paper, but I didn't see it on the last Mountaineer. But in any event, if you're available and want to attend, that's tomorrow at 11 o'clock, and then there'll be a light lunch afterwards. Okay?
Thank you for sharing that.
Steve, did you serve with Ralph?
I did. As a matter of fact, I was sort of responsible to get him to join the planning commission.
How long was he on for?
How long did he serve as planning commission?
Yeah.
He did, I believe, 3 years.
Good.
And then he had to step down because he got sick.
I wonder if you replaced him possibly.
I might have. I might have, I came in 2017.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, because
that-
you didn't overlap with him, did you, Jim?
No.
Okay. Yeah, it may be. It may have been one of those openings. That's right. It's either, well, let's see, Mike Dye, maybe Mike Dye came on about that same time, right? Was Mike Dye on when you joined?
It came later, yeah, Mike came.
Okay.
Yeah, Mike came
So-
later.
I think it was you, Jim.
I think I was, yeah.
Uh,
Well, thank you for hosting that and the information, and I hope it's well attended.
Yeah. So I've been busy, helping get ready for that. Matter of fact, tonight, I hope it didn't disturb anybody. We had rehearsal here for the music for tomorrow. So I think they're probably done now, but that was going on here tonight. And that's another reason I joined remotely as well. So
You didn't hear anything.
Mhm.
good, good. Okay,
Oh,
that's all I
Anything
have.
else?
Time. Nothing else?
I need a motion.
I make a motion that we end this meeting.
My second.
Okay, all in favor?
Thanks.
All right.
All right, meeting ends at 7:50.